Hello AP Statistics students. Today in this video I'll be going over how to describe distributions. So, describing distributions. So we're going to follow the SOCV method, which stands for shape, outliers, center, and variability. So let's begin with shape. So there's going to be different shapes to your graphs based off your distribution. So there's a few basic ones that we will go over. We have unimodal, which looks like this. One hump, unimodal. And then you have bimodal, which looks like this, with two. This can also be drawn in a bar graph, where bars will look like this. There's two humps still. And then there is symmetric, where the graph looks exactly the same. Like these are both symmetric, so we have that one. But there's also a few different types. Like you could have one of these. This is also known as uniform. And last but most importantly, probably, you have your skews. You can have a right skewed graph, which would look like this. It is skewed to the right because there are extra values going this way. So skewing right looks like this. There's going to be a big hump on the left with most of your values, and then the values will taper off to the right. And then skewing left will look like this. So you'll see that the values will be majority concentrated on the right, and then they'll skew off to the left. Next, we will discuss outliers. I'll turn the page. So, actually, I'll do it on this side. An outlier will be like the values that are out here, because the majority of your values are right here. That's your distribution. But you have some values that are extremely too high, or they can also be extremely too low. These will be your outliers. Yeah. There is a way to determine this based off of not a graph, but we'll go over that in another video. So next we want to discuss center. And there are a few different measures of center, notably mean, median, and mode. So mean will be your average. So you'll take numbers like, let's say 1, 2, 4, 8, you add them up. Yeah, okay, yeah, you'll take these, this will be your sample. So you're gonna add them up, and that'll give you 15. And then you'll do 15 divided by the number of values you have. So that'll be 4, which, I need a calculator. So then your average for this sample will be 3.75. That's your mean. Your median will be will be the middle value of your sample. So let's say our sample is 1, 2, 4, 8, 10. This is directly in the middle because you have 2 here and 2 here. This will be your median. And then lastly, for mode, mode is the number that appears most often in your sample. So let's say, okay, mean is average, median, middle, mode, most common. So mode will be, okay, for this sample, we'll go 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2 shows up 3 times. Every other value only shows up once. So 2 will be your mode for this sample. And then next we're going to be going over variability. So there are a few, similar to center, there's a few different ways to determine variability. You have your range, your standard deviation, and your IQR. So your range will be determined like this. So your sample will be, let's start with 6, 12, 13, 14, 20. If this is your sample, you take the lowest value and the highest value, or like that, the lowest value and the highest value, and then you take the highest value, subtract the lowest value, and you get 14. 14 is your range for this sample. And your standard deviation will be the average deviation of an observation from the mean of the data set. And your IQR will be the difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1. That gives you your IQR. So let's say that you have a sample and you do the 5-number summary and you get 32 as your quarter 3, and then you get 12 as your quarter 1 or quartile 1. You would subtract those, and then you're left with 20. And that will be your IQR for your sample with these quartiles. This is different from range. You want to note these are different because range will go from the highest value to the lowest value. Interquartile range, you're taking the highest quartile, not the highest value. So your range can vary much more than your IQR will. Thank you, AP Statistics students, for joining me in this lesson, and have a great day.